We're here this afternoon with Jeff Walsh from Pearl Window Systems and also Christina Shaw from Glass News. We want to talk now about, obviously, the longevity of Pearl Window Systems. I believe it was about 1999, wasn't it, when you first started out, Jeff?
It was, Chris, January 1999. So this is our 24th trading year we've just entered.
And you've now built up, I mean, we always refer to you as a super fabricator doing what, 3,500, 4,000 frames a week. That's a big number.
It is. I mean, we operate three factories off the same footprint now, and we have an overall capacity in excess of 4,500 frames a week, but we're constantly at 3,500, 4,000 frames a week.
Have you had to replace machinery and things in recent years? I mean, have you had to put in new machinery because of a build-up of business, particularly during the COVID time?
We did. We opened up our last factory in April 2018, and we had a 2 to 3 year development program for that particular factory. So once we opened up the foil factory, we were quite surprised that within the first 12 months, we'd actually executed the entire spend program in the first 12 months and put a couple of machining centres in and other bits and bobs and welders. And throughout January last year, we put another super cut into the main white factory. So I think we're 7 machining centres now in total.
When did we visit, Chris? Can you remember? We came down to Pearl, and it was huge then. But I don't think you had the third building in.
That's right.
Progress.
When was the third building put in then?
We opened up in April 2018, and I think it was just before then that you came to see us last, perhaps with Chris and Jackie from Corgi Fenestration.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's a good link for us to talk about Corgi Fenestration, because that brings us in very neatly into the Signature Collection and what you're doing for installers, and particularly with Corgi, because you've got a unique relationship with them, haven't you, really?
We have. As a trade fabricator to one side, obviously we've built the business up over the years to cater for supply and demand on a national basis. We run our own fleet of vehicles. We've done everything every other trade fabricator can do in terms of that supply chain and service to customers. And a couple of years ago, we began to focus on outside of that remit as to what we could do for retail consumers, for trade counters. And that was when we came up with the Signature Collection, which initially was a range of extended warranties available for the consumer direct through an extension of the retail installer and the trade counters.
But it also, doesn't it provide the opportunity to get building control certificates as well?
It is. We in 2018 we embarked on a relationship with Chris and Jackie at Corgi Fenestration, which we became the first fabricator in the UK to have our own building compliance through the Signature Collection website and customers that sign up to that platform. We built up a full cloud-based system which is linked to our QR coded products, our windows and doors. So that once the installation is complete, the notifications, once completed, are then pushed through to the consumer with the option of the extended warranties, which are very much like a white goods extended warranty. Behind the scenes, that data is pushed into our system, so we have a full record of any completed warranty cards and when they've been updated to the hardware supply chain. The QR codes still allow access for the consumer and the installer to access any technical data in the windows and doors, such as compliance certificates, energy ratings, maintenance, glass sizes, replacement parts, and also for the consumer to download any latest brochures that we might develop, because they're also pushed up into the cloud. So because we had a composite door brochure in 2018, if you scan onto a QR code from 2018, it doesn't mean it's going to bring the old brochure up. It'll bring a copy of the new brochure up because it's all been pushed into the cloud. So everything's constantly being updated behind the scenes. And it's like a VIN number for a car. You have a unique number for each window and door. It has its own identity, and it has a full traceability and service history with it. That coupled together with the approval of Corgi Fenestration means that the consumer is able to access products from a trade counter or a retail organisation that can sell the added benefits above and beyond a normal window and door.
So am I right in saying then that if, for instance, you had some problem at home, say you had a break-in, a window destroyed, we could come back onto you and quote a VIN number, and you'd be able to look up that window that was made some years ago and remanufacture it?
Yes, we can access all the details. It will bring the job number up, the item number, the reference. We can access glass sizes. If it was a customer service, for example, you can access the glass sizes via a smartphone. You can copy and paste those. You can email them, WhatsApp them, text them to your office for replacement parts or glass sizes, or even reorder the full window from the original data. You'll have access to all the information without any paperwork.
That is fantastic, isn't it, really? I mean, I want to talk more about the Signature Collection because it's a lot to do with branding and marketing and so on. But before we move on to that, these same advantages are available for trade counters as well, not just installers.
Yeah, every window we make, every product we make, whether it's a window, a door, a composite door, there are QR code labels printed at the point of QC. We had to be very careful with these. They are waterproof labels that have got to be legible for at least 10 years. They're placed on the inside of the product, and everyone has access to that information. So the added benefits of the Signature Collection at the front end, at the back end of the IT, and the cloud-based data that we save and move forward with is there for everybody to benefit from.
Can we just talk about the marketing side of that? Because as a small installer, I could join your club, if you like, the Signature Collection, and be viewed really as a national player by having the same branding as your own lorries driving around the countryside, presumably.
Yeah, we took the decision to come up with a corporate branding, if you will, with the Signature Collection. So our vehicles are 0800 numbers with Signature Collection websites and logos on. They will deliver to your premises. We have some excellent examples now of companies using the Signature Collection by ABC Windows, for example. So the showrooms are all graphics up, and when the vehicles pull into the yard, everything's uniform and everything looks the same. So if you've got people in the trade counter, you've got consumers in the showroom, it looks like everything is of the same, which it is. We're all part of the same family. So we made available to whoever wants to take advantage of that, whether they be a trade counter of any size or a retail installer of any size. They can use the branding, they can use all the marketing that's available. So we're able to redesign logos, we're able to redesign brochures, we're able to make their presence felt as part of that corporate brand. We also sort of go off to one side and we offer the same marketing package for people who don't want to use the Signature Collection as that identity, but they want to use their own identity, but they still use the added benefits of everything in the cloud base and the backup and the traceability, which is also fine, but we're there to help each and everybody in their own way, whichever way they prefer. We still offer them similar benefits. The beauty about having both the Signature Collection or an independent is that we can still sign you up to our building compliance platform. You could still sign up to a trade super user scheme, which will allow you to have the same building compliance platform. You can then register all your installation, your customers' installations, your builders, your trade customers through that same platform. So it's there and it's great. It's a fantastic scheme. It's a complete loop from start to finish, from us cutting the first piece of profile, which has got a barcode on it, all the way through QC to QC, where we put a QR code on the product. And then everything is scanned and kept within the cloud. So it's a full, complete system, even when it's pushed in from an installation being registered through Corgi Fenestration into our system, as I mentioned before. So it's pretty robust and it's pretty bulletproof. That the sort of next steps that we've taken in the last 6 to 12 months is developing our own portal. rebranding and redeveloping our app and our virtual showrooms, which I can go into a little bit more when you're ready.
Yeah, can we just, sorry, Christina.
The digital connect that we spoke about previously, that's quite a plus for customers as well, isn't it?
It is. This is really new. We've been piloting it for many, many months now. So this all came about after lockdown, where if people are familiar with things like DocuSign for, if you're signing documents for a new car, for example, a lot of car dealers use DocuSign these days. And everybody was paranoid about the touchy-feely swapping paperwork or pens, etc. And you know, it's still a thing, and it's still going to be around for some time. So we wanted to look at going paperless with our delivery system. So we looked at DocuSign, we looked at different options that were out there in the market. And in the end, we decided to build our own portal with our IT company. The beauty about building the portal is that it's enabled us to not just cover the delivery side, we've pulled in there the invoicing side as well. So what our customers are able to access now is a web-based platform. It allows them to log in, access their accounts. They can see all their orders on the system. They can see whether an order has been processed, or whether it's been back to the shop floor, or whether it's been delivered or being delivered to them. The fantastic bit is that we've barcoded our vehicles. Everything is tracked through the shop floor via the barcode scanners. There's a location for everything, and then we scan from the warehouse onto the back of the vehicle. The vehicles are all tracked, so even when you get to the point of the delivery with the drivers and the PDAs, which work both online and offline and then update themselves if they fall out of service, we scan a product offer to customers. If they log on to their account in their warehouse, for example, and we have different user levels, so accounts can access one level, the warehouse can access another to customers. So the warehouse personnel can see that those goods are being delivered to them, and it will change colour on their system. But it Google drops the product, each individual product, at the customers, so we know a date, a time, we know who signed for the product, and we've also got a Google map pinning the location of that product. So years gone by, and I'm sure every fabricator's experienced the same problem, that a loader's put a door on the wrong van, it's gone to the wrong customers, nobody can find the door. And then there's a complete investigation as to why you can't get your hands on that product. And sometimes you end up remaking it. This eliminates things like that and gives both us as a supplier, the customers, the confidence that they know when the product's coming to them, that they've received the product and it's in there. Part of the portal as well is that their accounts can access, as I say, any copy delivery notes. They can download copy invoices from that same portal. The invoices are now collated automatically, and they're pushed to the customers via the portal. So there's no human interaction with that side of things anymore, and it's in there for them to access, and it's pretty cool. The next phase that we're actually developing as we speak, we had a meeting this morning, is the returns procedure, which we're doing like an Amazon returns procedure. So it'll work along the lines of that the customer, if there is a return to be made, they can pull down the job, click on the item they want to return. That will then push through to our customer services, which will generate an automatic returns label for them, the same as you do with an Amazon return. They can print the returns label, it'll tell them where to put the label, they put the label on the product, and the driver can scan it back onto the vehicle. At the point of the product coming back on the vehicle, it will tell customer service it's on its way back to us, so they can then involve any of the production staff that they need to for whatever reason. And we've also now got an internal scanning system to scan product back into the company, which will enable us to have full vision, full sight of any returns that may go on. So that's coming very, very soon. And the other thing that is coming is the push notification. So we've used Amazon as an example. We're using DPD as another example that we want to have via the app. If people download our app, which we can come to the other benefits on their app, but there is a copy of the Digital Connect on the app. You do need a password for that, and we give our customers obviously logins and passwords for that system. You can access it by your phone, via an iPad, via your laptop or your PC. But if you've got your phone with you, for example, it will push a notification to a designated user when you deliver it's on its way to you with an allocated time. So we can only work within times of a couple of hours, for example, but it will be a similar sort of format that people are used to seeing these days with all the home deliveries that everybody's getting from people like DPD. And the system is, as I said, we've been trying it for a few months, but it's working really well. The drivers love it. The PDAs, again, from the returns, if a frame falls off the back of the truck and it's damaged and it has to come back, the driver has the facility to actually reload and scan and forward on the correspondence for putting something back on the truck. So yeah, it's quite a unique system, but because we own the portal, because we've built the infrastructure around there, we can continue to develop that now as we see fit to work around the customers. So we've already had feedback from certain customers in terms of reports. So we're changing and bespoking reports for customers so that we can give them added information. And it will eliminate the need for people to ring the office to find out what jobs are booked in that week, so they can download a full report of every job that's allocated to them that week, for example. And even the return system, when a return's up and going, it saves ringing the office, it saves having to send emails in, you're just generating returns off the portal. So, you know, Amazon, it works really well. If any of people use Amazon, you know, the download of returns, notes, and barcodes, it's a pretty simple system, and we're going to, it's working along those same lines. So I think those home deliveries for everybody in the last 2 years, you know, has opened everybody's eyes, and we're following in the same footsteps. So we hope that we can provide people with a more confident and more efficient service. And of course, things go wrong. Yeah, everything goes wrong at some point, and it's about how you put it back together. We're still a family-based themed company. We have a lot of long-standing members of staff around us, senior managers around us, and you know, if something goes wrong, we're all wounded with it, and we all want to put it right. And I think trying to get that across as a rapport with our long-standing customer base, they do understand that, and I think that's very important for us to get across, and particularly trying to build up relationships with new customers.
One other thing I wanted to touch on, and that is particularly the marketing side of the whole collection, because installers benefit really from an awful lot of marketing that you do, don't they? I mean, I know that you put out a video recently and you got something like 120,000 hits on it.
Yes, it was phenomenal. We've had some real success over the Christmas period with the social media. So yes, we can see the analytics of the downloads. We can see who's viewed the video in full, and they were viewed in full. Yes, I mean, we're not an installer. We'd never aim to be an installer, and any leads that come in from consumers will be passed to our customers in those areas. But we try and make our presence felt, and at the same time try and keep our arms around our customers. The marketing side of things, we've completely rebranded all our brochures just before Christmas with new fresh logos on there. We have a fantastic product guide, which Christina and Kate have been tremendous with us over the last couple of years, because we change it an awful lot. We're always updating it. But the greatest thing now, because of the virtual showrooms that we have available, and this is where you go to an e-brochure or a printed brochure, we're able to provide an e-brochure, and if you go into a casement window or a resurgence window or a door, it has a QR code link on the brochure to the virtual showroom for that particular product. So no matter which page you're on, you can get a consumer to scan onto the QR code, and you can go straight to the virtual showroom for that particular product. So if somebody's looking at a bifold, for example, it's great looking through a brochure at a bifold, and you've got a nice glossy at the back of somebody's orangery, and you've got the bifolds open, and somebody stood there with a big smile on their face. It doesn't actually give you an insight as to how that product works. So when you click on the QR code video for a nice 4 or 5 pane bifold, we have a full operating process and a view of a live bifold, thanks to Linear down at their showroom, and everything's been filled in HD. It's a really good quality virtual showroom.
Pearl Window Systems are really sort of pushing things forward. Jeff Walsh, thank you very much for your time. That's a very good insight into what you're doing now. And certainly the Signature Collection is getting very popular. Certainly I've talked to some of your installers and they love it.
It's great. I'd like to finish off on one thing, Chris, if I may, which is the app, and a lot of people have downloaded the app over that Christmas period. The virtual showrooms, the e-brochures, the access to all the digital connect, everything is on there for consumers, retail installers, and trade counters. We can also skin the app now, so we can actually bespoke that to any individual customer. We can have that pointed at their own collection of brochures that we can cover for them, so that if they want to share that with a consumer, they can open that up and it has their contact details on. But through the app itself now, you can actually share every virtual showroom, every brochure. You can WhatsApp it, you can email it, you can send it by text message. So we've made everything electronic. We still do paper format for people who want paper, but yeah, we've done a full product portfolio electronically.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Jeff.
Thanks,
No problem.
Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Bye.
See you soon. Cheers.